to this lovely lady sitting next to me. I know her personally very well, and she's also super spectacular. And I've got Nikki Lord right here next to me.
Hi.
One thing we want to start talking about, so you are a legitimate influencer for one of your passions, which is
Disneyland.
Disneyland.
And Disney in general, but specifically taking trips to Disneyland.
Yeah, and so you started NikkiMouse.club on IG, where you chronicle, you make record of your trips and all the things you like to do there. So let's take a step back. How long have you had this passion about Disneyland?
My whole life, really. I grew up in Southern California, closer to Disneyland, so I grew up going all the time. That was really fun. And then when I grew up, I couldn't go as much because, you know, life gets in the way, but it was always something that I loved and looked forward to. And then over the last, I would say 2 years, stuff in my life got dicey, and I found myself needing a little joy infusion. And I just went back to my childhood and that inner child and was like, okay, I'm gonna start going again. I'm gonna do something healing, and while I'm there, I'm gonna take pictures.
Yeah.
And if I have the pictures, I wanna share them. And I found myself kind of hesitant to post on my personal Instagram all the time because I'm like, my friends are gonna think I've lost my marbles. and I had kind of. But I thought, well, maybe if I just keep it separate, that way people can opt out if they don't wanna see it all the time. And you know, so I started this account, Nikki Mouse Club, because I love a good pun. And that's where I just started putting all my Disney stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of taken off in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you're having a good time with it.
Having a great time.
Yeah, and I love how you said you stepped back into your childhood because you're doing a little personal healing.
Yeah.
Right? And so sometimes that's what we need to do. And because you've always done this with your family, going to Disneyland and doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a way for me to think, what do I need to feel good? What do I need to feel like that inner child healing and all of that? And I was like, I'm going to go back to where it started. Mm-hmm. And like I say in some of my videos, like I am still sad at Disneyland. It's not like magical that fixes everything, but there is some kind of magic to being there because I'm not just there as my current version of myself.
Right.
I'm showing up as the past me who went there as a kid where everything was, you know, where you're in the bubble. And I could visit her, and I could visit the people who took me there when I was little and spend time with them again, in a way. And I don't know if you feel sometimes that memories are unlocked, like geographically.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So sometimes it's just being somewhere where I have happy memories associated. It kind of just helps. It just helps.
No, I hear you so much. And you know, you have a very unique way of showing up there. Like you're really all in. You're really all in, and you show the kids in the food. I love the skit with the Tigger.
Yeah.
Do you get these ideas like spur of the moment, or do you sort of go in knowing what you're gonna do?
Both. I can't just like half-ass anything. So when I go, I like to dress like a certain character, or you know, be all in the merch, or they've got a lot of festivals and things going on, and I'm really just immersed in like, what's new? What can I do? What can I try? What can I do? And share it with other people because that's half the fun. I really like finding a creative outlet where I can use photos and words and having fun and do all that. And I just felt like Instagram was a good platform for all of that.
Absolutely. And you are a creative. For those of you who don't know, you love to write, you love to create, you love all of those things. And so this is like a huge outlet for you to put all of those things in one place.
Correct.
And share it.
Correct. I'm not making any money, but it's not about that.
It's not about that.
It's just about healing and expression and really taking time to do things I like to do.
Right.
Because life is hard.
Yeah, it is.
And sometimes you just need to put on a pair of Mickey ears and eat a fucking churro.
100%.
Try that again with the F word in.
We appreciate and embrace the F word, fuck, all the time. Mm-hmm. I think it adds the period on it because you're so right.
Then once more for the people in the back. Sometimes you just need to put on a pair of Mickey ears and eat a fucking churro.
Exactly. I think that's like a hashtag.
Yeah.
Well, it's so true because life is hard and we can get so caught up in the day-to-day avoiding the hard. But if you can find a place where you can go where the hard is just not so overwhelming, and choose to be in that space, I think it really goes a long way. And so here you are. I mean, we are in our 40s, embracing that. No apologies. Did people think you were crazy deciding to do this and spending time doing this?
They still do. Yeah, and that's okay. I think everybody needs their something, and some people get into Pilates or adopting a pet or baking or pickleball, and I put on mouse ears and eat fucking churros.
How did you know that Disneyland or doing this was going to be a way for you to kind of go through a healing process?
I didn't know, but I was just so underwater that I was like, what could help? What could help? What could help? And I went once. It's like, wow,
right,
this helps. And it's funny that my drive to go to some childhood amusement park is dark. It's because of grief. It's because of depression and feeling so just not myself anymore. That in order to connect with myself, now I had to go back.
Right.
I had to go back and find me, little me, and childhood me, and go from there. And I'm lucky enough in my life that I have people who not only encourage the hobby, but my husband, for example, people always tell me like, oh, it's so nice that he goes with you. No, he is more into it. If you think I'm crazy, he is way more into it than I am. And he doesn't have social media, so he's not as like out there with it. I have to cover his face in my posts for privacy. And people are always like, is he in the witness protection program or is he just really ugly? No, he's very,
none of those things.
He's very handsome. It's just a privacy thing. But he's a Star Wars guy who's born in 75, so he's seen every single Star Wars movie in the theater. And he's way more into Star Wars than I am into Disney. So he's dragging me along most of the time, or, you know, we're at least enjoying it together. But in addition to him, my friends like to go with me, and a lot of them have passes too. So we'll meet there for a little girls' weekend or, you know, just a day trip. And it's really fun.
Yeah.
Also, I have an adult daughter who lives in San Diego, and she'll meet me at Disneyland. I have a 17-year-old daughter who, she's getting there. She's getting there. She likes it, but we're getting there. I have a son who completely just thinks I'm nuts. He's a good sport. He'll hang out if he wants the quality time, but he thinks we're crazy. But I'm not just saying that I have to go to Disneyland by myself to heal my inner child. It's also, you know, I go with my husband, we have fun. I go with my friends, we have a great time. It's cheaper than flying around the world.
This is true. This is totally true. This is totally true. And I think learning how to laugh again and enjoy time again, you know, because grief is something that doesn't really necessarily go away. It just adjusts and you learn how to kind of work through it. And so many people don't have that same kind of outlet where they can say, well, this made me happy and I remember it. And so they don't have that to go back to. You know what I mean? So the fun page and all of that too, really it's about you being able to enjoy those things again.
It's just finding something that makes you feel good and just holding on and squeezing it and doing it as much as you can in a healthy way and having some fun, because
absolutely.
Fun is restorative. Fun is therapy.
When was the last time you were at Disneyland?
2 weeks ago.
When are you going again?
Thursday.
So I know you're not making any money as this Mickey Mouse Club, but yet exactly. So now, how much time does it take you to do the post, put the page together? How often are you on there? What does that look like?
Well, I'm probably my own worst enemy here because I overanalyze, but I really get so much joy out of thinking like, okay, what's a fun angle I could take about this? What's the perfect song to go with it? What's the perfect photo? You know, like all of that. I would say I'm posting right now about 6 days a week.
Okay.
And they're not all the same. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's a food review, a drink review, a little outfit photo, an interaction I have with the character, or if there's something exciting going on, I try and be informative. So I'm useful. I'm useful. But yeah, I really like the back end of it too. Like I like creating, I like the storytelling.
Yeah.
I like all of that. I like
Absolutely.
trying to, find a way to make it fun for other people who can't go.
Right.
Or who choose not to
To
go.
go. Right.
Yeah. I'll get you one day.
I know. Do you find, do you ever kind of get like sort of a creative block where you're like, what am I going to talk about next? I've been here X many times. Like I'm going again. I need to have some content. Like how do you create something new and fresh?
I have endless ideas and inspiration. What really holds me back sometimes is my own insecurity. So sometimes it's just forcing myself. Or, I'll think I got like this cute video and then I'll play it back and go like, oh my God, I look 80. I'm not gonna post this. It's just getting out of your own head. Honestly,
Yeah.
I have to take the ego out of it sometimes where I'm like, it's not about me, right? Like it's about, this is supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun anymore, like what am I doing this for?
Exactly. And when you get too far in your own head about making it be perfect or, the right angle, the right light, is anybody going to even watch this?
No.
Right. I mean, yes, we know. We experience that too sometimes. We experience that too. Number one most favorite thing that you do every time you go, no matter what?
That's impossible to answer because every trip is completely different.
Okay. How so?
Because sometimes if I'm going there, like with my husband, for example, we're doing more of the Star Wars stuff. And he's really heavy on he wants to jam pack as many rides in as possible. I respect that. That is one approach. If I'm going with my girlfriends, sometimes we don't even go on rides. We just wander around, see where the vibes take us, park somewhere shady, get some cocktails, spend the whole day gossiping.
Right.
If I'm there with my daughters, it's a mix of shopping and snacks and all of that and rides. Every time is completely different. And the funniest thing is when I go by myself because I'll have an agenda ahead of time. Like, okay, I want to try this snack. I want to buy this hat. I want to do this. And part of the reason that it's a really good exercise for me to do things by myself is because I'm so used to being codependent, people pleasing. Like, what does everybody else in my life want to do? When it's just me, I'm like, what do I want to do?
Right.
I could literally do anything I want to do. What do I want to do? And I will ping pong back and forth because I can't decide for myself. So I'll get in a line for a ride and then be like, no, I don't actually want to do this. And then I'll go try and get a snack and I'm like, but I'm not even hungry. What do I do? And this is all very important work to understand how do I take care of myself?
Right.
And it's hard to figure out. And I'm a mess trying to figure it out, but I'm having fun doing it.
You're having fun doing it and you're working to figure it out.
Right?
Because the alternative, which so many people find themselves falling into, is not working to figure it out, not working to be better, feel better, try something new. Like this is something completely different. You've been on social media, you always do super cute posts, but this thing with Disneyland, this is something completely different, and really you put yourself out there. Really put yourself out there to do that. And that's really scary.
It's scary, but what is also terrifying for me was where I was 2 years ago after being completely blindsided by something I had no control over. And the grief that hit me when my mom died was unlike anything I could have prepared for. And the place that I found myself in was scary. And I had spent so much of my life being a parent to my kids and all of that the grief spun me out in addition to the burnout of just regular life, right? Which is hard without grief. And then you throw that layer in, you throw in perimenopause. I'm sorry, we're in our mid-40s. We're talking about it. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
That I couldn't get on my feet, and I was so resentful that I couldn't just be happy, that I couldn't just selflessly do things for other people anymore because I was so like just underwater. So to really like take a step back and be like, this is not selfish. It might look wackadoo bananas crazy, but it's not selfish for me to take a day and say like, I'm gonna do something bananas. I'm gonna go to Disneyland. Because when I came home from Disneyland, I was a better mom the next day. Because it was just something for me, right? And that's gonna look different for everybody, but you gotta figure out what your thing is. And you gotta jump in. Because if you start to feel resentful for all the things you have to do, you're not serving anybody. And there's no like valor in being a martyr, right? And people can deal with it. My family can cook their own damn dinner one night a week because I can't.
Right.
Not that I don't want to, I also don't want to, but I actually can't and still show up as the best version of myself.
Yeah. Well, I think being the best version of yourself comes from taking those moments to do something that's really just for yourself. And you're right, it is different for everybody because I don't remember the last time I was at Disneyland, right? But you know, I know I have the things that I do that I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do to recenter, whatever, realign, feel good today. You know what I mean? And you're right, whatever it is, like do it because time's gonna move past regardless. Either way, the day is gonna turn to the night and now we're already in fucking April. We're just basically in May. So
wait, right now is the youngest we're ever gonna be for the rest of our lives.
We're the best looking we'll ever be.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's true. It's so true though. It's so
yeah,
true.
and we're not promised anything. We're not promised tomorrow. So go to Disneyland today.
Yeah.
Just
whatever that looks like for you. So you know, like you mentioned a couple life-changing things that happened to you and caused you to kind of reevaluate. Like there's a lot of people that are in that position for a lot of various different reasons. Do you think that because of like the support from your husband and that and whatnot, that you were able to sort of find that thing and grab onto it easier? Or do you think it was really something that you had to do on your own and figure that out?
I think it had to come from me because so many people tried to reach out and nobody could reach me. I was very like insular, I think. Like I withdrew a lot. While also having so many responsibilities to keep track of that it was just a mess. Everything was a mess.
Right.
And I think it was helpful. And I will say I have great friends and a pretty cool husband who were like, what do you need? And,
right,
you know,
of course, yeah.
And invited me places. And I said no to a lot of things, but I said yes to Disneyland. And I had a friend who, maybe a couple months after my mom died, we were having lunch and she was like, well, I have a birthday coming up. We can fly for free. Let's go to Disney World. And I was like, wait, what? This is before I had my Disneyland pass, so I wasn't going all the time. Right. And I was like, I guess I'm a grown-up who could just get on a plane and do it. And I don't have small children anymore that I have to, well, they be okay, but they're fine. And I was like, can I? And I could, and I did. And it just unlocked something in my mind where I'm like, I'm in a different phase of my life now. Thank God. I better take advantage of it.
Yeah. So where do you see Mickey Mouse Club going? Where, like, paint the biggest picture ever. Like, what does that look like?
That looks like Disney calling me and inviting me to come to all their things and putting me up and doing all that and decking me out head to toe and all their stuff. Unlimited churros. Unlimited fucking churros. No, honestly, like I've made some great friends just through my page. I would really like to cultivate a community of people who think that the same things are cool. I've been able to do a couple brand partnerships. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I just, my only goal is to do what feels good and right. Mm-hmm. And right now, this feels good and right. And I'll keep doing it as long as it feels that way. And when I don't want to do it anymore, I'll find something else.
Right.
But for now, I'm just having so much fun. I had a fun deficit for a long time in my life, and I'm just leaning into it in a way that I think is unhinged, but could be worse.
Right. It could be worse. It could be worse. So what would you say to somebody maybe like who you were 2 years ago, and here you are now? So somebody experiencing something similar to you that you did. What would you say to them to kind of like push them through or help them? I know it comes in from within, but what words could they hear that might help them get through something?
That everything they feel, the way they want to handle their grief, there's no right or wrong. The only way through it is just through it. Please don't neglect yourself. Listen to yourself, feel all your feelings, feel the hard feelings, and find a way. For me, what helped was finding a little piece of gratitude in the middle of my grief, finding something to be grateful for, and that a little bit takes the sting out of it. And like you said, I'm never gonna be the same. It's never gonna go away. Part of the weirdest thing for me was not just losing someone, but having to cope with losing the parts of me that were attached to that. Like, I'm no longer a daughter. I'm an orphan. I'm a 44-year-old orphan. I don't like that. But that's just the new reality. But I'm grieving the loss of a person. I'm grieving the loss of an era in my life, and all of that is okay and natural and normal. Honor that. Find a way to tap into something special and, grow from it, grow through it. Hang in there, be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Yeah. And just do what feels right and good.
Right. It's so, so true. And people talk about the gratitude piece like all the time, and people discount it all the time, and it's a real thing. Because when you think about like what you're really grateful for, it's really hard to get to let the dark part kind of sink in. So I'm glad to hear that you were able to do that, because even through that time, there were so many things for you to be grateful for.
Absolutely. And I think the bigger picture is life is all about change.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the same. And you just have to embrace the fact that right now I'm a different person than I was 2 years ago, but also a different person than I was 5 years ago and 10 years ago.
Right.
And thank God for most of that, right?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to be all bad. It's just, it is what it is.
Right.
There's a way through it. Find yourself some good friends. Find yourself some healthy coping mechanisms. Even if your friends think they're crazy, just start another Instagram so they don't see it. Right? Yeah. But it's important to show up authentically. And I think at 44, I'm like, I'm not trying to be cool anymore. I don't want to be out partying all the time. Like, I had that phase in my life, and I'm so glad it's over. I'm either in bed at 6:30 p.m. or at Disneyland. And that's okay. That's great. But like, just show up as yourself. Yeah. And the people who like you will like you, and the people who don't, fuck them. Like, it doesn't matter. Life is too short.
It's very true. It's very, very true. I've got one more question for you.
Okay.
Give us a pro hacking, something we need to know the next time we go to Disneyland. What is it like? How to get some pro tip.
Okay, 1, take me with you. 2, I really, really, I can't believe I'm saying this out loud because this should be a secret. Okay, I'm gonna go a different direction.
I can't wait to hear what you're gonna say. Okay, but we will allow for you to take a different direction.
I am recently an early bird, and I'm going to say it really pays off. So they call it rope drop because they set up ropes in front of the different lands before Disneyland officially opens. So get there early, give yourself plenty of time to get through security before the park. If it says the park opens at 8, get there at 7. I know.
Before the rope drop?
Yeah, you want to get there for rope drop so that when they play all the music and then they drop the ropes and then you run and then you don't run. Then you walk quickly with a purpose to your destination and you beat the crowds because the crowds are lowest in the mornings.
Okay, that makes sense.
My number one tip though is pack your patience. You gotta just be happy to be there because nothing's ever gonna go perfect. Some ride's gonna break down, some kid's gonna puke, something's gonna be not the way you want it, and like deal with it. Be flexible. You're there to have fun. You're just happy to be there. You're just feeling your inner child. It's not that deep. Just be flexible and have a good time. And a plan B.
I love it. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you for having me. I love, adore, and respect you endlessly.
Love you very much.
Thank you.
Go to Disneyland.
Take me with you.